And when Nigerians went to England in the 60s and 70s, educated Nigerians went to England, they often found white nannies to look after the kids. One, because while they were studying and working, they wanted to concentrate on that. And two, it was very much seen as a cachet, as a Nigerian to have a white nanny. But they weren't proper nannies. They would just find white people in newspapers who just said, yeah, we'll look after your kids for £4 a month or whatever. And they would just put the
randos.
They weren't vetted in any way. They just find advert in the newspaper and put their kids with these white families. So there was a lot of abuse that happened, a lot of terrible things. There's a whole documentary about it, and some of these kids were messed up by it. Luckily, the white people that we went to, they loved us as their own kids. In fact, they wanted to adopt us. And my mom was like, no, give me back my children. But she went into hospital alone and had my younger brother, and then came back and got us. But yeah,
how did all that change your relationship with your mom and your dad? Like what like growing up, that must have been, I mean, obviously you were young, huh?
She never forgave him.
Oh.
So she talked badly of him all my life.
Yep.
You know, your father left you. He left you. So that was all my life. So my mother never had and I think my father broke my mother's heart. And so that's why she,
of course,
you know.
Did you carry a lot of that too?
I wish I had a dad for sure.
Yeah.
Because I had a very evil stepfather. So I very much wished as a child that I had I'd have daydreams of my dad coming up and punching my stepdad in the throat and taking and rescuing us. You know what I mean? But as a kid, you just adapt.
Yeah.
You know, I never dwelled on any of it. I just was like, well, I just adapted to the life I had, you know?
Yeah, and your dad ended up starting a whole other family.
Whole other family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever connect with them?
I met them once. I went to Nigeria to do a show.
Yeah.
There's this comedian called Basketmouth.
Basketball.
Yeah. He took me to Nigeria to do a show. And when I told my mum I was going to Nigeria to do this show, she was like, your father is going to turn up. Because what happened, I got quite famous in England and I was on TV in England.
Yeah.
And then somebody wrote a letter to the TV station and to a theatre that I was doing shows at, saying, my name is blah, 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 Yashua. I am the cousin of Gina's father. And he wants to know and wrote this letter. And I remember being sent this letter and I was like, I'm going to contact my dad. And I contacted him, but then he just kept going, send me money so I can get a visa. So I was like, ugh. And I just threw it away. And I never contacted him again. But then years later, I was going to Nigeria to do it. And my mom was like, your father is going to turn up. I said, she'll mark my words. He will turn up. And he did. I was at the show. It was at the Echo Hotel and Suites.
Oh, Echo, yeah, in Lagos, yeah.
So the big show was happening. My flight had been delayed and I'd flown in. I literally landed as the show was already on. Because my flight had been delayed a whole day. So they walked me in and they were checking me into the hotel so I could quickly change and go on stage. And as I walked in, a guy jumped out of the crowd and was just taking pictures. And I was like, wow, paparazzi. Okay, I must be really famous here. And then as I was checking in, the woman at the desk was like, and will you be sharing a room? And I was like, and I was on my own. I was like, sharing a room. And I turned around and there was this old black man standing behind me, an old Nigerian man in full agbada and everything. And I was like, and I recognized him immediately. I knew it was my father.
Okay.
And I was like, no, we're not going to be sharing a room. I was like, oh, hello. Let me just check in. I'll get right back to you. Cause I was so thrown off.
Of course.
So I checked back in and they turned up for the show. They didn't even have tickets for the show. So I got them into the show. And I did a joke on stage about my father's here for the first time. And then the next day I took them out for dinner and we sat and we ate and I asked all the questions. But what is really funny, I was videoing it as I was talking to them. And he was there and the guy who jumped out, the paparazzi guy, was not paparazzi, it was my younger brother. And when I looked at him, he's the spitting image of my brother back in London. So my dad's genes were strong. So we hung out the next day and I asked all the questions and they're talking about me in Edo and my mum never taught me the language.
Right.
And it's so funny because I'm talking and I'm like, yeah, and I'm paying for the food. I'm like, eat. And they're talking, but I don't know what they're saying, but I'm thinking they just, and as we're at the end of the day, the younger sister looks at my watch and she's like, that's a nice watch. Maybe you will leave that behind when you go. And I was like, oh God. We haven't even known each other 24 hours. And already, you just monster. So anyway, I went back to England. My mum never wanted to see any of the videos. She didn't want to see, I don't care, I don't want to know, I don't want to know.
Right.
But years later, after my father had passed, she looked at the video and then she was listening to what they were saying.
Oh.
And she says to me, you know what they were saying about you? As you were sitting there videoing, all happy that you're meeting your brother and sister, your father, they were talking, going, when is she going to give us money? Is she going to give us money? Why, we're not going to get money. And then my younger sister was saying, oh, no, she's not going to give us money. This food here that she's paying for is the money. So eat up. That's the conversation.
What the hell? That is crazy.
I didn't find this out till, when did I go to Nigeria? 2010, 2010, 2011. I didn't find this out till 12 years later when my mum finally watched the video and was like, do you know what they are saying about you on this video? You're so happy to be seeing your father, seeing your father.
It's just like a Nigerian mother to throw it in your face. I can see it.
But she was so angry at me.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I didn't go to him. He came to me.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you should have told him to go. I said, Mum, you brought me up with respect, to respect to all my elders.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what I did. Can you imagine if he'd come to me, and I go, get out of here, you're useless. I don't know if I would have got out of Nigeria alive for a start, if I would start cussing out an elder in front of a room, thousands of Nigerians.
Right.
And I said he was my father, and at the end of the day, he was my father. So I gave him his due respect.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Did you get anything in that conversation? Did you get anything answered or resolved?
I wouldn't say resolved. I said, why did you never come for us? You never came for us. We were suffering in England with an evil stepfather, and you never came for us. And he brought out a pile of letters that he'd been writing to us over the years. And he tried to call the house a few times, and my stepdad had put the phone down on him, and he'd written a bunch of letters, and he had all this stuff that he presented to me. He's like, oh no, I never forgot my children. And I was like, I get it. But you never came. You never came. And that's the difference. You never came. You never sent anything for us. You never came. And so like my brothers have both got kids, and he wanted to get in touch with my brothers. And one of my brothers spoke to him once out of curiosity and then said, that's enough. I spoke to him once. I've sated that curiosity. I'm done. And I said, why not? And he goes, because I'm a father. You could cut both my arms and legs off. I will drag myself to where my children are by my teeth. So I can never respect him for the fact that all those years went by and he couldn't find a way to get to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, it's finally here. Yes. We are dropping our lifestyle merch. 154 is here. It's hot. Come get it. Bam. Ain't no place like home.